My sister's betrayal with my fiancé and my parents' plea to forgive. My sister became pregnant by my fiancé. My parents urged me to let go of the betrayal, so I ensured the guests at my sister's baby shower, which I funded, received undeniable evidence of her stealing my partner. "We have an announcement," my sister declared loudly in my living room during the event I paid for. The room fell silent. My fiancé slid his arm around her waist, a gesture that felt foreign, as if he'd never held me that way. I wondered if she'd caught on yet. "Poor thing," my sister said, patting her belly. "We're expecting, 4 months along," he added for clarity, 4 months. "Your expression is priceless," he whispered. "Did you really think I was serious about us? I stayed for your bank account, but my child needs stability, something you lack." I turned to my parents. My mother sighed. "Don't cause a scene, be mature." My father added, "Your sister needs your support." "That's what family does," she smirked. "With your income, you won't even feel it. You'll be the most generous aunt ever." I walked out without a word, driving away in silence. I cried until I was empty. Back home, I ignored the chaos they'd left and went to my office. I pulled up the investment portfolio. It wasn't family wealth. It was mine, inherited from my grandfather's trust, the only one who saw my discipline when others saw a cash machine. I'd grown it threefold in a decade. I smiled for the first time that night. Everything, every asset was in my name. They were right about one thing: babies cost money, and they were about to learn the price of their betrayal. The next morning, I felt no tears, only a strange clarity, like noticing a cut only after seeing the blood. I opened the family investment folder. The first document was the lease for my sister's apartment, with me as the primary guarantor. Next, the loan for his car, my name again. Then the family loan for her college, signed carelessly at 20. My wealth underpinned their lives. I reviewed every page meticulously. They'd never bothered to read a single clause or understand the revocation terms. But I didn't cancel anything yet. That was my first calculated move, using restraint as a weapon. A week later, my strategy paid off. My sister called furious when her premium credit card was declined at a spa. "What's wrong with your account?" she demanded. "Nothing's wrong with my account," I replied, hanging up. They didn't know I'd set up alerts on all accounts. Any transaction over $200 needed my approval. I allowed routine purchases but blocked anything lavish, creating uncertainty without revealing my hand. Their response was predictable. They spent more, like spoiled children throwing a fit. They emailed me links to $400,000 homes and tagged me in social media posts about luxury cribs for my baby. My sister even posted a photo of a Mercedes-Benz, captioned, "The baby deserves to arrive in style." But something didn't add up. The 4-month betrayal made me suspicious, so I audited our past, every bank statement. I needed to know how I'd been so blind. That's when I found it, a $0 Uber ride on a day he claimed to be sick at home. At 11 p.m., the trip ended in the downtown bar district. I created a fake Instagram account and searched location tags for that date and place. After 3 hours, I found it. A photo posted by a blonde woman I didn't know. He was kissing her. My sister wasn't the other woman, she was just the safer bet. I dug deeper, uncovering 2 years of digital deceit, a life he'd lived behind my back. Instagram stories I wasn't tagged in, hotel bookings we never shared, romantic dinners that never happened for me. I called a lawyer the next day for a 1-hour consultation. "I want to confirm my rights to revoke these 3 assets," I said, laying out the scanned documents. He reviewed them for 20 minutes. "You have full control. You can revoke the apartment lease with 30 days' notice, demand immediate repayment of the car loan, and evict them anytime. The contracts are airtight with their signatures." I paid the $200 fee in cash and left, grinning for the first time in weeks. I began compiling evidence, digital and physical folders with screenshots of their extravagant spending, recordings of their calls demanding money, and messages where they treated me like a bank. Every insult, every slight, every sign of their entitlement was time-stamped. Then came their counterattack. My best friend called, her tone uneasy. "Is it true you've had a breakdown? Your sister says you're obsessed and need help. Since when do you trust her over me?" I asked, awkward silence. "I'm just worried." It escalated when my mother called, her voice sharp with accusation. "Your sister's stressed because of you. It could harm the baby. Do you want that on your conscience?" Pure manipulation. "I'm fine, Mom, just reassessing priorities." "Stop being dramatic. She's your sister. I know exactly who she is." A month later, the call I'd anticipated arrived. My mother's voice was syrupy. Honey, we're throwing a baby shower for your sister. We know you've had differences, but it's time to forgive. Family matters most. I paused for 5 seconds, an eternity. Of course, Mom, I wouldn't miss it. I'll bring gifts. Really? That's wonderful. I knew you'd see reason. Count on me, I said, already planning. When I hung up, I opened my laptop and started a list, not of gifts, but of consequences. The game was on. On Monday, I sent a certified eviction notice to my sister's apartment, giving her 30 days to vacate. She called, laughing. A lawyer's letter, what's next, calling the cops? She mocked. Relax, drama queen. Mom said you'd come around. I hung up silently. On Wednesday, I stopped payments on my ex's car loan. The bank called him the next day. He texted me, fix the car account. It's a glitch. On Friday, I sent a letter to the university withdrawing my sponsorship for my sister's final semester, with copies to the scholarship office, financial department, and dean. She had 30 days to find new funding or face suspension. That's when their panic set in. My sister called at 7 a.m. screaming, "What did you do? They're kicking me out of school. I'm pregnant, I can't work full-time." "Good morning, sister, how's the baby?" I replied coolly. "Don't play games, fix this. I can't fix what's not broken. Check the contracts you signed." "Those papers mean nothing, we're family." "Exactly. That's what family's for," I echoed my father's words. She hung up after a 5-second silence. My ex got a formal car repossession notice the following Tuesday. He ignored it, texting, "Stop the drama. I need the car for work. Think of the baby." As if their baby was my responsibility. On Wednesday, they hired a cheap lawyer from Google. I received a poorly written letter threatening severe legal repercussions for breaching implied family duties. My lawyer laughed. Implied family duties? This guy's degree is from a cereal box. I had him send copies of all contracts with revocation clauses highlighted. Their lawyer went silent, and we never heard from him again. My masterstroke came with an unexpected ally. I tracked down the blonde from the photo, Andrea, with a public Instagram profile and 3 years of posts with my ex. Using a fake account, I messaged her with the kissing photo. "I thought you should know he's cheating on you with me. We've been together 2 years. He's marrying me in December." Her reply came in 10 minutes. "What? 2 years? We've been living together for 3. "Who are you?" I sent her screenshots of our chats, photos of our life, and receipts for dinners she'd never seen. "I'm his fiancé. He's living with you and me." The exchange took 2 hours. He had 2 apartments, 2 lives, and 2 women footing his bills, each thinking she was the only one. Andrea paid half her rent across town. I covered everything else. "That son of a," she wrote. "What do you want to do? Do you know my sister pregnant by him? Pregnant, he told me he was sterile." Andrea became my greatest asset. She had 3 years of proof, photos of him at parties while caring for me, messages mocking the idiots funding his lifestyle, and videos of him rehearsing lies. "You need to see this," she wrote. "Your sister's throwing a baby shower Sunday." She posted on Facebook asking for money for the best gifts for the baby. She sent screenshots. My sister had launched a GoFundMe, "Help a Single Mom," claiming I'd evicted her out of jealousy, raising $1,200. My blood boiled, but Andrea had a plan. What if I show up at the shower? As his girlfriend, I deserve to meet the mother of his child. I agreed. On Friday, my ex confronted me in my workplace parking lot, sweating and frantic. "We need to talk." I recorded him before approaching. "What about? Cut the crap. Cancel the evictions, the repossessions, everything." "Cancel what? Be specific." "You know what? You're ruining my life over a tantrum." "A tantrum? You cheated with my sister for years." "That's irrelevant. The baby needs stability." "You're right. Babies need stability. Maybe get a job." He exploded, yelling I'd regret it, all recorded in high definition. That night, my parents escalated. Missed calls, WhatsApp messages, and an email from my father's work account. My mother's voicemail. "If you don't stop, we'll tell the family what you're really like. Your aunt, cousins, grandparents. You'll ruin our reputation over a whim." My father was blunt. "This isn't about the engagement anymore. You're destroying lives out of spite. We raised you better." I saved every message and threat. On Sunday, the baby shower invitation arrived, a blue teddy bear card with my mother's handwritten note. "We hope this day helps us heal as a family." I laughed. That night, I prepared my gifts. Not just a folder, but 3 elegant blue and white gift boxes wrapped with ribbons and tagged. For the future, for stability, for the truth. The first held the eviction notice and apartment documents. The second contained the car repossession papers and university sponsorship withdrawal. The third had screenshots of my ex's double life with Andrea, the fake GoFundMe, threatening messages, and a USB with audio and video evidence. On Friday, I ran into my ex at a coffee shop near his office. He looked exhausted. "The showers tomorrow. Come with a good attitude. Your sister's stressed." I gave him a cold smile. "Don't worry. I'll be there with gifts, real ones, not your legal stunts. You'll get the day you deserve." He hesitated, then left. That night, finalizing my documents, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. The fury had faded, replaced by cold, clear resolve, the satisfaction of justice approaching. Sunday morning, I dressed in my finest outfit, untouched by them, and drove to my parents' house with my 3 boxes. I arrived at 2:15 p.m., deliberately late. The shower was in full swing in their garden, blue and white balloons, a candy table, 30 guests I hadn't seen in months. My sister glowed at the center, my ex playing the doting father-to-be. Conversation stopped when I walked in with my boxes. My mother rushed over. "Honey, I'm so glad you came. I knew you'd see reason." My sister flashed her rehearsed smile. "Thank you for being here, it means everything." My ex hugged me too long, whispering, "Thanks for not ruining this." "You're welcome," I said, my smile never reaching my eyes. My father called for quiet, and my ex spoke, waxing poetic about fate and finding his soulmate in my sister. "Sometimes life takes unexpected turns, but it leads where we belong." My sister, teary-eyed, thanked everyone for supporting her through tough times, staring at me. I especially thank my sister who, despite our differences, is here today. Applause, smiles, a flawless act. My mother announced, "Time for gifts. Who's first?" "Me," I said, raising my hand. I walked to the center with my boxes, all eyes on me. The air was thick with anticipation of reconciliation. "A baby shower is about gifts to build a family's future," I said clearly. "My gifts are for clarity and responsibility to ensure a solid foundation." To my parents, who urged me to be the adult and reminded me what family means, I handed the first box. My father opened it, his smile vanishing. Inside was a ledger titled Family Investment, detailing every cent I'd spent on them over 5 years. Apartment, car, tuition, credit cards, vacations, emergencies. $147,000 underlined. My mother paled. "What is this, a bill?" "A reminder of what family has meant," I said. To my ex, who built his future on my dime, I gave the second box. He opened it to find the car repossession papers and a key. I projected a photo of his Civic being towed that morning onto the TV set up for baby photos. "You won't need this anymore," I said as he gaped. "Are you insane? That's my work car." "Check the contract." "It was never yours." To my sister, with her bright future, I gave the third box, the university suspension notice and loan repayment demand. Her face cycled through pink, white, and red. "You can't do this. I'm pregnant 2 classes from graduating. You should have thought of that before." She played the victim, screaming, "She's crazy, she can't stand our happiness." The crowd murmured, some nodding. "I'm not done," I said, raising my voice. "One more gift, not for me but for you." I plugged the USB into the TV. The first image showed my ex kissing Andrea at the bar. My sister stared, confused. "What's this?" Then the garden gate opened. Andrea walked in, locking eyes with my ex. "I'm here to give my gift," she said calmly. "It's called honesty." My ex blanched. "What are you doing here?" "Meeting the mother of your child. Did you tell her we've been living together for 3 years?" The slideshow played, photos of my ex and Andrea, romantic dinners, trips, dates overlapping our anniversaries. My sister watched, horrified. "What does this mean?" "It means your soulmate had 2 apartments, 2 girlfriends, and lied to us both," Andrea said. "Oh, and he told me he was sterile." My sister collapsed, not crying like a victim, but shrieking in betrayal. "You son of a bitch," she screamed, pounding his chest. "You said she was done, you said you loved me." My ex, cornered, snapped. "You and your family pressured me. Of course I needed a backup plan. Did you think I'd live off one source forever?" Silence. He'd confessed everything in front of everyone. My father stood, trembling. "Parasite," my ex shouted. "Yes, you and your money, your daughter paid for everything. Any smart man would have diversified." My sister sobbed on the ground, broken. I knelt beside her, whispering, "You wanted a real family. He gave you one. Enjoy it." I stood, grabbed my purse, and walked to the exit. Behind me, chaos erupted. My ex shouted excuses no one believed. My sister wailed, Andrea recorded. My parents stared at the ledger, stunned, as guests whispered and snapped photos. At the door, I glanced back. My mother, comforting my sister, met my eyes with a mix of respect and fear. "That's what family's for," I said loud enough for her to hear. I drove home in silence, no music, no calls, just peace I hadn't felt in months. At home, I poured a glass of water, sat on my couch, and smiled. My phone buzzed with messages and calls. I ignored them. It wasn't revenge, it was justice, cold and precise. For the first time since that night at my engagement party, I felt free. 6 months later, my sister and ex split. He fled the city like the coward he was. She, pregnant with no home or degree, moved into my parents' basement. Poetic irony. My parents, who preached family unity, now support her and the baby with their retirement savings, victims of the daughter they defended. 3 months ago, they tried to reconcile. My mother, crying, said, "We made a mistake. We need our family." "Sure," I replied, "but I'm no longer your bank." I agreed to monthly lunches with rules, no money talk, no pleas for my sister, no manipulation. They traded their daughter the bank for a distant acquaintance. I sold the repossessed car and rented the apartment, turning symbols of betrayal into $2,200 monthly passive income. My lawyer sends collection notices for the student loan, a reminder that actions have consequences. I cut off relatives who judged me, having my social circle but doubling its quality. No more jealous cousins, sexist uncles, or controlling grandmothers. Last week, I moved into a smaller, new house free of old ghosts. In my study, I keep a Freedom Fund folder. The $7,000 I've saved from cutting off leeches grows monthly. My sister messaged me after the baby was born, sending a photo with, "Your nephew wants to meet his favorite aunt." I didn't reply and blocked her. I don't hate her, that would take energy I'd rather spend on myself. She's just a stranger who once shared my name. Last night, reviewing my growing portfolio, I realized it wasn't revenge I wanted, it was justice. Not loud or dramatic, but quiet, cold, and firm. I sipped tea on my new patio, watching city lights, feeling not triumph, but peace. Order was restored through boundaries and consequences, and I was whole again. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.